The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Talking politics with Phil Goff.
Leader of the Labour Party this morning, it is Phil Goff. Good morning to you, Phil.
G'day, Wammo. Great result last night.
I was going to say, have you been up all night?
No. Like several 100,000 New Zealanders, I wish I had have set the alarm and got up to watch it. But hey, look, all credit to the All Whites. The commitment and the determination that they showed, just remarkable. Somebody's compared the result to, the Solomon Islands drawing with the All Blacks. If you're playing rugby, the Italians are the current world champs. They're full of people that play in the top clubs in Europe, and there's a lot of arrogance in the media in Europe about what the likely outcome of this game would be. I think we showed what a small country with a fit team and a team determined to do well can actually achieve, and all credit to the All Whites.
Keeping it political, great photo op for the Prime Minister over there at the moment.
Oh, of course, it's a great photo op. That's why he went over. But I'm more interested in the result of the game, and the result of the game was great. And every New Zealander will be out there celebrating this morning that we've got a team that not only made it to the World Cup. 2 games, 2 points. That's pretty good.
Oh, look, we've basically won the World Cup. That's it. We've won.
Well, it'll give the game a real boost in New Zealand, and I think one of the things I'm a rugby and a rugby league man, but I've got a really good club, soccer club in my electorate of Mount Russel that got into the finals for the Chatham Cups. I follow the game. Frank Van Hattem I know quite well. A great guy. He's over there with the team. And Ricky Herbert, well, I've got to say this, mate. He went to my old school, Papatoetoe High.
Well,
so there you
Phil,
go. I deserve some credit, don't I, for that?
Yeah, obviously. I know someone who knows someone who knows someone that knows the guy who's running the show, Yeah. So anyway, hey, this is kind of overshadowing some of the bigger news that came out at the end of last week. In fact, there's been very little reporting since Friday on Russell Norman's protest in Parliament grounds, protest supporting Tibet against the Vice President of China, who was walking up the stairs there in Parliament. Now, Let's not get into what Russell Norman was protesting about, but the fact that he was protesting and he was manhandled by Chinese security there, Chinese-controlled security. This morning, it looks like the Prime Minister has been licking the boots of the Chinese Vice President and apologised on Russell Norman's behalf.
Yeah, I don't look, and I heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs condemning Russell Norman at the time. Look, we can debate the pros and cons of the form of Russell's protest, but nobody should have any doubt at all that we have a fundamental right of free protest in this country. He's a parliamentarian. He's entitled to be on the grounds of Parliament. And he's entitled to make that protest. So I don't know what John Key was apologising about. I met with the Vice President Xi immediately afterwards. I'd met him before. I'd met him in China. We had a very good discussion, but I made it totally clear to the Vice President that in New Zealand there is the right of protest. It's fundamental to our political system and to our culture. And his reply to me was pretty straight up and down, actually. He said, yeah, I understand that, and I came to New Zealand expecting it. So
did he apologise on behalf of his security?
No, he didn't apologise. I've looked at the clip, and I think the fact of the matter is Russell Norman had the right to protest. He shouldn't have had the flag ripped off him. I'm not sure I would have done it in quite the same form as Russell. I've every time I've been to China, I've raised the issue of Tibet, not as it being a separate country, because since 1972 we've had a one China policy, but simply to promote the right of people as an ethnic minority to celebrate their ethnicity, their culture and their religion. And I've raised that right up to the top level with the President of China, Hu Jintao. So, there's no, and I met with the Dalai Lama. So the Chinese have got no doubt as to my support for a reopening dialogue with the Dalai Lama. I raised it in Beijing the week before last. At the same time, I guess you treat your visitors to this country with respect. But that doesn't override the right of free protest. So I'm certainly not saying that Russell Norman shouldn't have been there. Perhaps he could have followed Rod Donald's example, though, and done it in a slightly different manner.
Well, I mean, we've had I think the last American president visit was Bill Clinton. And so we are used to situations where there is high security, here in New Zealand. Did George Bush visit, or did he? I can't remember.
No, he didn't.
He didn't visit. So Clinton was the last one. But don't you think the nature of the attitude from the Chinese delegation is quite different, though, from what we would expect from anywhere else in the world? There seems to be some kind of arrogance there when they do come to New Zealand. I mean, I think there was a visit a number of years ago by someone else who was high up in the Chinese, and the buses scream on through, everyone make way, there's an important Chinese person. Why is there such a difference in attitude?
I think, first of all, there's not a difference in arrangements. When I met Clinton when he was here in '99, I met him down in Christchurch. You just wouldn't believe the degree of security that you had to go through, and I understand that because people in positions of high power are vulnerable to attack and to potential assassination.
But not here in New Zealand. We couldn't give a damn if a Chinese person was visiting here in New Zealand. We don't actually really care.
Oh, well, many might not. I mean, I actually think the visit was quite an important one, and the relationship is an important one, as it is with the States. But look, I've been on both sides of the barricade. When Johnson came and when Agnew came, I was out on in the protest line, and that was a fundamental right. I suppose the difference between the United States and China is that the United States understands about the right of free protest, and that's not a concept that's well understood in China.
Well, how can we get that translated? How can for the next Chinese visit that they are clear on the situation here in New Zealand?
Well, I think you've got to organise it so that you get the balance between providing proper security and the right of any person not to be physically harassed, and the right of other people to exercise the right of peaceful protest. I think you can get that balance, and maybe it just required a little bit more distance than what we had on this occasion.
But there was obviously, with this particular visit, there was some arrangement made between the Chinese security and the New Zealand security. What do you call the New Zealand security? There
would have been diplomatic
protection
there, and the clip that I saw on TV, that was obvious. Usually what happens is a visiting dignitary from whatever country has his or her own security, and you get a working relationship between the security forces on both sides. On this occasion, it didn't work as it should have. I just think probably a little distance so that the security on one hand didn't feel that there was any particular threat to the president, and at the same time just making it absolutely clear to any foreign security people coming into this country there is a right of protest here, and this will be respected.
But see, diplomatic security here was put to shame, weren't they?
I think it should have been better organised. In normal circumstances it would have. As a Member of Parliament, Russell, of course, has the right to go anywhere on Parliament buildings, and that meant that there was quite a closeness. If you go back and you watch those films, you see the Rod Donald protest. Rod was standing back a bit, holding up his Tibetan flag, making his point, but without being in the face of the president that he was protesting against. On this occasion, I just think that things were a bit close. The security guards on one side felt that they may have felt that there was a threat. I'm not sure that. Knowing Russell, I know there wasn't an actual threat, but they probably didn't know who he was, to tell you the truth.
No, but I guess that's the point. At the end of the day, they didn't know who he was, and if it had been arranged properly beforehand, with what is expected on parliamentary grounds and all that sort of thing, it wouldn't have happened. Yeah,
I think they could have worked something out, and they should have had a chat with Russell beforehand and say, okay, we're here to protect your right of free protest. At the same time, we're also here to stop, physical harassment of the individual concerned. I don't care whether it's the Vice President of China or who it is. Every individual has the right to be a visitor and not to be really feel physically threatened by it. I think they could have organised it better, and next time hopefully they will.
Phil Goff, thanks very much for your time.
Okay, thanks very
Cheers.
much. Cheers, mate.
Yep, that is the leader of the Labour Party, Phil Goff. Here is Barb with the brand